Welcome everyone. I hope you must stay safe and stay healthy. So let's start today's fact. Today we are talking about what is Stroop effect. The Stroop effect is a demonstration of the phenomenon that the brain's reaction time slows down when it has to deal with conflicting information. This slowed reaction times happens because of interference or a processing delay caused by competing or incompatibility functions in the brain. The effect became widely known after John Ridley Stroop, an American physiologist, published a paper on it in 1935. But it had been studied by several other researchers before Stroop. This phenomenon is topically studied with a Stroop test. In this test, a researcher times how long it takes a test taker to say the name of a color printed in gray or black ink. For instance, the person would see the word blue printed and then say blue. The researcher then shows the task taker color names printed in another color, like the word green printed in orange ink, and times how long it takes the test taker to say the color that the word is printed in. Most people are much slower and are more likely to make mistakes during the second task than the first one, since the second one presents the brain with confliction information. Stroop's original test was a little different, but many modern Stroop tests are structured in this way. During a Stroop test, two parts of the brain's frontal lobe, the anterior cingulate cortex and dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, come into play. Both are connected to the catching errors and resolving conflicts, and the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is also involved with memory and organized, among other things. Possible explanation. There are two main theories used to explain the Stroop effect, but no one final explanation. The theories are: speed of processing theory. The brain reads words faster than it recognizes color, so they are a lag while the brain recognizes the color. Selective attention theory. The brain needs to use more attention to recognize a color than to read a word, so it takes a little longer. Other theories. Automation of reading theory or automatically hypothesis. The brain automatically understands the meaning of words through a long-time habit of reading. But recognizing colors is not an automatic process. When the brain has to name the color rather than the meaning of the word in the Stroop test, it has to override its interior impulses of automatically reading the word rather so that it can recognize its color. Bottleneck Theory. The brain analyzes most streams of information unconsequently through automatic process that are hard to control. Process like color recognition require the brain's attention, but the unconsequences process can distribute that attention, which accounts for the delay. Parallel distribute processing theory. As the brain analyzes information, it builds up specific pathways for doing each task. Some pathways, like reading, and stronger than others, like naming colors. So, when two pathways are activated simultaneously in the Stroop test, inflammatory occurs between the stronger reading path and the two weak. Color meaning path. Use of the Stroop effect. The Stroop effect is used in variation of Stroop test to measure many different things, including how well a person's selective attention works and his or her brain's processing speed. It is also used as part of a group of tests for a person's executive processing, which is basically how good one part of the brain is not managing the other parts. A researcher might also give a Stroop test to a person while also giving him or her a brain scan to see what parts of the brain are involved in things like color recognition or managing interference as a way to study to brain. Tests like this can also shed light on how people would handle interference in other situations. For instance, while texting and driving. Stroop tests are also used as tools for screening people and diagnosing certain mental problems, including dementia, brain damage after a stroke, and attention deficit hyperactive disorder. This can also doctor test certain aspect of how patient's brain is function, particularly aspect related to attention and focusing. For instance, quizzing tend to show more interference when talk Stroop test than those without, because that condition makes it hard for the brain to focus and filter some types of information. Variation on the Stroop effect. This effect is not limited to just colors. It has also been shown to have an effect in taste, where the words are turned upside down or at odd angles. Other Stroop tests are based around emotions. For instance, a researcher might show a person card with words like depression, war, and pain mixed in with more nature words like watch, doorknob, and box. Just like in a normal Stroop test, the words are colored and the test taker is Stroop the name, the color. The researcher then times the test taker to see if the test taker said the sad words faster or slower than the natural words. There is also a phenomenon called the reverse Stroop effect. There were takers are shown a page with a black square with a mismatching colored word in the middle. For instance, the word blue written in the color of red, with 4 similar colored sequard in the corners. One sequard would be colored red, one skewered would be blue, and the 2 others would be other colors. Experiments show that if the test takers and asked to point to the color box of the written color blue, they have a delay just as though they were taking a classic Stroop test in which they were supposed to say the shown color of the word, in this case red. So that's all for today. Goodbye everyone. Have a good day ahead.